Hi, this is Marla. I'm going to give you a quick overview of the key components of how to get into nursing school. The first and most important component is to stay positive. Believe me, as you begin the process, you may encounter, you probably will encounter people that will say, oh, why are you doing that? Or, oh, it'll take you years and years, and there's a 5-year waiting list. And I've even had nurses as a CNA tell me, oh, it's a bad time, I don't know why you're doing that, the economy, blah, blah, blah. Don't take any of that negativity inside. You have to take everything that you hear with a big grain of salt, because the reality is not what you will hear. Second thing, and this is key, I've told my friends that are trying to apply to more than one school. There's nothing worse than applying to one school and getting a no from that one school that you had your heart set on. In the meantime, you have to wait another year or cycle for it to return again. The way that I did it is I literally took from the Board of Nursing website, I literally grabbed a copy of all the eligible schools within, easy driving distance to my home, and there were about 15. I ended up applying at 9 different schools. I got accepted at 2, and this is within 2 months of completing my prerequisites. I got my first acceptance, total from prerequisite completion time to acceptance and getting started less than 6 months. And this is at the community college level. So the key is to apply to more than one school and make sure that the way I did it, I set up a grid in Excel and I literally wrote down all of the requirements for each school and when the application due dates were coming up, so that I had all my ducks in a row. And that's how you get the acceptance that first time around. There is no waiting list. I think there's maybe one school in Southern California that still has waiting lists, and I didn't even bother applying there. Waste of time. All right, the next key component is to get experience. And what I mean by this is either volunteer at a hospital, and you'd have to have something where it's actually documented that you volunteered. You can't just say that you volunteered. You have to have a program, either a clinical care extender program or a formalized program of volunteering through a hospital so that you have real hands-on experience. Even better than volunteering would be getting work experience. And it doesn't have to be full-time. You can do something part-time even when you're in nursing school, either as a CNA, a phlebotomist, a ECG tech. There are many different certifications that you can get out there that don't cost a lot, but will bring a lot of value to the table in terms of your profile, not only for applying to school, but down the road when you seek employment as an RN. They don't want a new grad that has no experience whatsoever. That's really important. The next component is your personal statement. And this, understand, when nursing schools get applications, they literally get huge stacks, and they've got to whittle them down to the right people. First, of course, they're going to toss out the ones that don't even meet the requirements. Those are not even looked at in depth. Then, from that group, they start looking at, okay, which ones are the best within these? And then when they finally narrow it down to the, say, 100 or so that are possibles for the school, then they start looking at, okay, is this person a good fit? And that's when your personal statement comes into play. This is your only chance, the personal statement, to sell who you are and why you should be a nurse versus another person. So I would focus on bringing in whatever your personal calling is. If it was a nurse in your family, or if you come from a long line of nurses, or you had an extraordinary experience in a hospital when a nurse went above and beyond that called you to become a nurse, whatever that is, put that in your statement. Make sure that the grammar is correct, no spelling errors, APA format. You can look that up online. That's the standard for nursing, is to use APA format. And it just really put some time and effort into that personal statement that will be part of any application. They want to know who you are. And then the last key component is your prerequisites. I took a year to take all of my core prerequisites, the microbiology, anatomy, physiology. It took a little bit longer to do that, but the end result was that I got A's across the board, and that is huge when it comes to applications. Most of the premier community colleges, they're looking for A's across the board on your prerequisites. And a key component with that is don't, if they're at all possible, do not repeat any prerequisite courses in an effort to get an A. I've seen that where folks, they took a course, say anatomy, and the first time they got a C, then the next time they came back and got an A. Many of the community colleges will discount that final A to a lower level, which will drop you out of the running. So you don't want to repeat any courses. If you're progressing and you're taking a prerequisite course and you see that you're not going to cut it, make absolutely sure that if there's a withdrawal date, that you withdraw before that course goes on your record as a withdrawal, because that will also count as an F in many community colleges. So those are some of the tricks that you need to be aware of. If in doubt, go to each school that you're going to apply for, talk to the counselors, talk to the nursing counselor and say, hey, what are you looking for? I'm really interested in this program, and I know it's going to take me some time, but I want to make sure that I'm set up to be an ideal candidate when I do apply. All right, so those are the key things that you need to look for when you're processing or setting yourself up for getting into nursing school. It can be done from start to finish. My application process took about 1.5 years. None of this 5 years, baloney, waiting list forever. That's not true. Do your prerequisites, make sure you have all your ducks in a row, and then apply to as many schools as you can drive to within easy distance and timing, and you'll see the results. I'm proof. Okay, take care, guys.